All right, good morning. Can everybody hear me? I'm listening for production in the background. All right, I get it. Yay, good morning. All right, we're not holding for technical difficulties anymore. Production is slowly crawling away out of my studio space here. Well, what a fun start to a Monday morning. How about that? This is Amy Wazinski, and I'm here with Cranberries and Conversation. This is my version of Greg's Coffee and Conversation. Good to see you all here today. Thank you so much for sticking around with me, everybody. I hope you all had a good weekend. It was kind of a busy one here in our household. Our children went back to school yesterday, and that was quite a thing. We had to take both of them back at the same time, and I'm very grateful that their schools are close enough together that we can take them both back on the same day. So good morning, Millie. Yay, you can hear me. Angela, Carrie, Dottie, thank you guys for hanging in there. And you can see, as I was trying to say earlier when I first started, you can see I'm not in the usual spot. I'm not in front of the fireplace. I'm not in the office. I chose this morning to be in Natalie's room. And Natalie, of course, thank goodness, left it very nice and neat for me. She even left a little Minky boy in her bed. So anyway, before we jump into the topic of conversation, I want to ask the question, where did you see God this weekend? Did you see him in a person? Did you see him in an activity that you did? Did you see him in something that you read? Did you see him in something that you were watching, in a story that you were watching, or a movie or something? Where did you see God at work this past weekend? I would say for me, as I already mentioned, I would say for me that I saw God in my children, in watching them continue to grow and expand. And, they were nervous about going back to school and all of that. But just in the ways that they're growing up, the little things that they're doing that, it's really cool. It's cool to see God at work. And I think what makes it more obvious to me is that we did something, a tradition that we have around the holidays. It's called Baby Tape Day. And we usually do it before Christmas, and we get in our pajamas. We have a whole long pajama day. We bake in the morning or make treats, Christmas treats, and then we watch our baby tapes all day and remind ourselves of how cute the kids were when they were younger. And then we go drive around and see the lights. Well, this year, I don't know, as everything else was 2020 anyway, Christmas was weird. So crazy. Millie said she always sees God in her kids and her grandson. Yes. I mean, you can't help it. There are all kinds of things we notice and we see because we've seen them grow from so little to now, to whatever they are, whether they're grown, older, teens, 20s, 30s, 40s. Anyway, so Baby Tape Day. So this is our favorite thing to do, or it's my favorite thing to do, but the kids seem to enjoy it too. They seem to always be asking, when are we going to do it? When are we going to do it? Well, this time we did it after Christmas, which is not the usual way. We usually do it before Christmas and kind of leading up to that. But we did it just recently, just last weekend. And Baby Tape Day always is fun. And I thought this year I was going to tear up and cry. I haven't done that in the past, but I thought I would this year just because of just the nature of the year. We did it on my birthday this year, and which was just a week ago. And so I don't know, I didn't feel like celebrating, and it was just, but it really cheered me up to be able to see the kids. And it reminded me, well, first of all, a couple of the favorite things that we watch. We have some certain clips that we need to see, some silly things. Nathan, when he was like 2, 3, and 4 was really into Elvis, and so he would dress up as Elvis, and he would sing, and he would have the Elvis hand, and he'd really be into it. And you just thought, oh my gosh, he's only 2 or 3, he doesn't really understand, but he was having a ball, and he thought it was the coolest thing. So it's looking at life for them back then with that childlike faith, and that it's so fun. If you ever have an opportunity to go back and watch old home movies, or if you haven't done it in a long time, go do it, because it is so fun. If you see the kids and things like that. Millie said, do you find you have a few more videos of Nathan because he's the first than you do of Natalie? And yes, Millie, that's true. We do have a lot more video of Nathan. My mom lived in New Jersey, and so she wanted to know everything that was happening with him because he was the first grandchild. And so I would have these long tapes of like what we did all day long, and I would follow Nathan through the whole day. Oh my gosh. Looking back now, I don't want to sit and watch that. But anyway, okay, we're getting off track. But one of the things that we love to watch, and the kids have taped it and they've shown their friends, is a video clip of Natalie opening a present on Christmas morning. Somehow we have a lot of videos of them opening their presents on Christmas morning. So this year we watched several years, of growth, and them from, 2, 3, 4 to middle school. And boy, that was such a difference between middle school. So yeah, hours of my daughter sleeping. But this one is so cute, and I wish I was technically savvy enough to get it for you and show you the clip because it's so adorable. But Natalie I'll try to describe it for you. Natalie is opening a Christmas gift, and it's a baby, and this is from Santa. And so she's ripping it open, and she goes, "It's a baby, Mommy, it's a baby." And she was so thrilled. And at the end of the clip, she says, "Thank you, Santa." Like he's listening somewhere, and watching her open this present. And we love that. It melts your heart. Just her little squeaky voice. She always had this little squeaky voice, and it was so cute. And it reminds you, you're watching this through the eyes of a child, and that sounds so cliche, but with the holidays, that's what we're doing. We're I think some of us are remembering Christmas through your child's eyes. And for those of you who may have grandchildren, you understand, you're going back to that time, when you had young kids, and seeing just the excitement on their faces, and just that belief that Santa could bring you anything you ask for. And we all know now, as adults, as we've grown up and get a little more realistic, we know that's not always possible, but Santa tries, and he does his best to bring whatever you ask for. And that's, I don't know, it was so refreshing, and it was so heartening, heartwarming. It reminds me too of when I taught music in VBS at Vacation Bible School, or camps. Everybody's calling it something different now. I'm going to take off this banner here. I kind of went off of the whole thing about this past weekend, but please comment in the comments if you have someplace that you saw God this past weekend, because I do want to hear about that. Libby said she saw God taking some time to start a new book and taking some time for self-care for her. Libby was talking about that last weekend, about goals and taking time out of your day to be quiet. So good for you, Libby. I'm glad you took some time for yourself this weekend. We don't always do that, and we need to do that. So anyway, if anybody has any more comments about where they saw God this weekend, not just in your children, but I know some of you did. Oh, I'm jumping around. I better take a drink of cranberries. Anybody? Time to take a drink. Okay. So it reminds me, when I was watching these baby tapes and I was thinking about childlike faith as we were taking the kids back to school, because I was thinking about, what do I want to talk about tomorrow? And it reminds me of when we did Vacation Bible Camp. And you teach the music and you're talking to the kids and you're trying to explain about how awesome Jesus's love is. Um, and sometimes that's hard for them to grasp. It's pretty big, and there are songs about Jesus's love is big and wide, and it covers, it's with you all the time, and how awesome it is that if we believe in Jesus and we trust in him, that he will take care of us. And that childlike faith, reminded me of this quote, and I want to get it right here, that Jesus said to us, "Truly I tell you, unless you change and become like little children, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven." And I remember hearing that Bible verse and thinking, "Oh my gosh, wow, I've got to remember sort of that awestruck um, belief in God, and knowing that maybe we can't see him, we don't necessarily understand." Isn't that what we ask children to do sometimes? Is that just trust us, just believe. We'll take care of you. It'll all work out. Um, and we need to do that with God. Just like with Santa, God, we need to trust and believe, and we ask children to do that. But as we get older, don't we all get a little more cynical? We see, we sometimes lose hope. We see bad things do happen, and there's nothing sometimes that we can do about that other than give it to God. So, oops. I'm getting all crazy here. Let's go back to faith in real life. Okay. I gotta practice this technical transitions here. But I was reading an article last night when I was looking and kind of trying to gather my thoughts about what I wanted to talk to you about this morning. And this author used Alice in Wonderland. And I don't know if you remember Alice in Wonderland, and how she went to this place that was like upside down and backwards, and it was beautiful, but yet it was strange. And she met the Red Queen, and the Red Queen was saying these crazy, impossible things. And Alice said, "You can't believe in impossible things. It's not possible." What did she say? I wrote it down. There's no use in trying. One just can't believe in impossible things. And funny, I played the Red Queen, little tidbit. I played the Red Queen when I was in high school in doing a show called Alice Through the Looking Glass that my stepfather wrote. And we did with this touring company that my mom and my stepdad had. But anyway, that's beside the point. The Red Queen answered to Alice and said, "I declare, I dare say you haven't had much practice then. When I was younger, I used to believe, what was it? When I was younger, I used to do it for half an hour a day. Why, sometimes I believe as many as 6 impossible things before breakfast." And I used to always think that was the crazy. I mean, obviously, and Alice, I'm sure, in the story was like, what are you talking about? Believing 6 impossible things before breakfast. But as adults, we've forgotten about that. We've forgotten about, or maybe not, but a lot of times I find myself getting caught up in the everyday life, and I get caught up in the whole, I don't know, getting cynical, and you get negative, and you just get down on things, especially in 2020, right? We all had those, just what in the world is happening? Kind of like Alice in Wonderland. What is going on? Place is not what I am used to, and all these crazy things. But here is the verse that my key verse that I was trying to get to was, Jesus looked at the disciples and he said, "With man, this is impossible," whatever it is they were talking about at the time, "but not with God. All things are possible with God." And I was thinking with the childlike faith and the things we need to remember, we need to try to look through things from a different perspective, which is why I was here in Natalie's room today, thinking about, missing her and taking her back to school, and how she's got a new perspective being back at school in a new place for if she hasn't been in a while. And, I haven't sat in here in a while without her in here. So it gives me a new perspective. And so what I really wanted us to remember this week is to focus on remembering that with God, if we invite God into our lives, into those everyday situations, those difficult situations, um, if we believe, if we trust in the love that God gives us and we invite him in, then nothing can be impossible with God. He'll show us the possibilities. Ask God this week, as we go forward in our week, ask God to show you the possibilities in whatever the situation is, whether it's good or bad. But we're usually thinking about that when it's something that's a tough situation or something where we're not sure where to turn or what to do. Ask God, invite him into that situation. God, what do you want of me in this situation? The readings this past weekend were all about God calling out to us, and us saying, "Here I am." So this is our chance to call out to God and say, what help me see the possibilities in this situation? Does that make sense? Am I making any sense? Oh, nice. Greg says, will you sing Harry Styles songs too, just like Natalie? No, I won't. I don't probably even know any Harry Styles songs, but I'm sorry, Natalie. I like listening to them with her, though. It's fun. Dottie says she saw God in the faces of fellow parishioners at Mass on Sunday. That's awesome. I'm glad you're able to go to Mass. I know not everybody's able to go to Mass. So yes, I'm thinking about my kids today, and I'm thinking about missing them. But I want to look this week, not necessarily with those sort of the adult eyes, the realistic eyes. Oh, Greg, thanks for the question. Greg says, what is one way we can invite God in? Well, Greg, prayer is definitely one way we can add God in, right? If we take the time, Libby said that last week, take that minute to stop and take a deep breath and invite God into the situation. Just take that minute. That would be one way to invite God into your situation. So I want you to remember this. Go forward this Monday morning and this week and invite God into your life through prayer, or just stop and ask him out loud. God, what do you want of me in this situation? As a matter of fact, I did not show you that I'm wearing ironically, this is from actually the Cavs, my Always Believe shirt, which I'm sorry, Browns. I was believing that it was going to happen, but I have my exercise shirt on. I use this for my exercising, which of course, as part of our beginning of the year goals, new you, got my exercise shirt and I'm ready to go. But I'm going to look at it with a different perspective this week. So I hope that for your Monday motivation, that you remember this week to look at your situations, at your surroundings, at your life with a new perspective, a different perspective, a childlike perspective, and trusting God that he will have you. He's not going to set you up to fail. He's got us. We just have to trust. Sonia, I saw God this weekend in the Theology of the Body intro. She says, amazing what we forget or what we need to unlearn that we've learned. So yeah, just kind of like kids. Cindy, thanks for being here. Perfect for today, Amy. Oh, took my youngest to her first job this morning. Oh, that's exciting. Yay. We're going to pray for Cindy's daughter that she has a great first day. Yeah. So I'm just grateful for this community. Thank you for letting me join you this morning on Monday Motivation, Cranberries and Conversation, or coffee, or whatever. Looking forward to tomorrow's Tea Talk Tuesday with Carrie. And we will see you all. I think, Carrie's got Tuesday, Millie's got Wednesday, Greg's got Thursday, but thanks for having me, and I hope you guys have a great week.